Hello friends, welcome to the prelims focused news discussion from the Hindu, and today the date is 29th of June 2017 and the same lecture is available in Hindi also, so if you at all want to see it in Hindi, so you can come to my YouTube channel. So let's see the very first news, guys. We have been discussing news in past days also, and that is Air India is going to divestment. Alright, so for that Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has given its note, and Cabinet there are a few facts written in the news that Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs is chaired by Prime Minister, so remember it, and Prime Minister given the in principle approval for the strategic divestment of this Air India company with its 5 subsidiaries. So this was very much in news, which I thought of covering, and few more facts are given about like this divestment was that a ministerial group under the Arun Jaitley was constituted for this, who will decide that what is the proportion of strategic sale they will have for Air India. And one more thing about Air India was written that it was nationalized 64 years ago. This Air India is this public company was nationalized 64 years ago. So if in prelims there comes that it was nationalized recently, so that will be wrong. Though this type of trivia I just keep on telling whenever I teaches, right? So to make you to make you feel of what type of question actually comes, right? Next is one more thing was given that Jaitley few days ago had said that that they will prefer investing in social welfare scheme rather than investing in those sector which are debt ridden, and that debt ridden is also more than 50,000 crore, and that is in the case of Air India also. In Air India case also the debt is more than 50,000 crore. So that's why this was the news. Next is, guys, Bhutan government has said that the Chinese personals are making illegal construction on the tri-junction of India, Pakistan and India, Bhutan and China, right? So actually the region where they are constructing road is Bhutan government is telling that is our region, because there was an agreement signed between China and Bhutan earlier, which has resulted in that region to be ours region. I mean, Bhutan government is telling that is our region, and that's why Bhutan government has said the same thing to the Indian government also. That's why Indian government was yesterday we have saw the news that Indian personals have crossed the road, right, has crossed the border to Chinese counterpart, right? And for that reason China's government has stopped this Nathula route, and Mansarovar Yatris, or China government is not allowing the Mansarovar Yatris to go to Mansarovar. Alright, so this was in news very much, and the basic reason was revealed in this. If any progress happens, then we'll let you know in coming days. Next is landslide blocks Manali Leh highway. Guys, there was a news that landslide has blocked Manali Leh highway, but then this news will not directly come that where is the Manali Leh highway. Rather, the reasons of a landslide might come, that what are the reasons behind landslides, right? So there are a few reasons I've written, that indiscriminate chopping down of trees, the trees roots which hold the ground. If you are cutting those trees, then what happens is like a ground is not ground is not holded by anything, right? Any agent which was earlier being done by the trees, right? So in that case, from hilly region, there occurred solifluction. All right. So this was the reason. This is one of the reason. Next is you can write slash and burning cultivation also, which is in India called as jhum cultivation. So what happens is like you just chop down trees for the cultivation thing, right? So that is the case also. That is also leading to some sort of landslides also, and that mainly happens in hilly region only. And few more reasons are written, that road construction and mining in hilly region, then increasing population, grazing and urbanization. These are also the secondary reasons which are behind the landslide thing. All right. Next is Odisha government, guys. Odisha government has developed monitoring system and drought monitoring system and flood forecast system. In this, what happens is like a real monitoring forecasting system has been devised by Odisha government in Mahanadi river, which will help the Odisha government for better flood control and its management. All right. And one more fact was written that Odisha has become the first state in our country to implement the project under the climate change action plan. Just guys, just remember it. So this thing we have learned about the model of flood forecast, right? Now Odisha government has also developed drought monitoring system. Now drought monitoring system he has set up in under the means drought monitoring system will operate at the Odisha State Disaster Management Authority. All right, and for this devising this drought monitoring system, Odisha government has taken the help from Karnataka Disaster Management Center also. Right, means technical support is being given by the Karnataka government. All right, so this was also in news. Next is, guys, yesterday we have discussed about Ganjam Coast, where the Ganjam Coast is located, and it was in Odisha, right? And I have also said that there's fish, there are mass fish death on Ganjam Coast. So let's see, few reasons are kept in today's article, and let's see what are those reasons. Guys, first, before telling that what is those reason, I'll tell you a term which is being mentioned in this article is that fishy jetty. See, this is the fishy jetty, right? This can you see this? This is called fishy jetty, in which people go and catch fish. All right. So presence of high level ammonia near the fishy jetty is the reason. I mean, government is putting that this is the reason for large mass scale fish death, right? So how does it happen? Why did it happen? Is like because fertilizer, there is a fertilizer go down nearby that fishy jetty in the Ganjam Coast. So from that fertilizer go down, urea is getting seepaged into the sea level, right? So this is the result of increasing the ammonia level, and since the ammonia level is increasing in water, the dissolved oxygen level is very much decreasing. So this is one of the reason kept in for the death of fishes. All right, guys. Next is this fish jetty. Say for example, this is fish jetty. All right, this is fish jetty. You are catching your fish. Now second thing is put is like this is a sea where you are catching fish, and this sea is connected to the whole Indian Ocean. Say for example, I'm telling you Bay of Bengal. Now this region there, the government is telling that this region is silted. All right, means there are many sand occurring in this region, due to which the this sea water cannot dilute this water, right? And ammonia is increasing in this water, so the dissolved oxygen is also decreasing in water. And if this silt would have removed, then what will happen is this seawater will come inside this water, and this can help in diluting this water and reduce the effect of ammonia. All right, so these are the reason government is telling that it's increasing. Next is Election Commission of our India is partnering with Facebook to launch nationwide voter register campaign. Means the campaign is launched from June 1 to 4, and what will happen is like in Facebook only you will get a button which will tell that register now button. All right, and if you will click that register now button, then you will be directly sent to the Election Commission website to register yourself if you have not registered yet, right? And the same thing is available in 13 languages. Guys, remember 13 language is very important here, because this can be said to be the one of the reason due to which up till now the enrollment was not done. But since now the things will be available in 13 language, so it will be very easy for for any register. If you have not registered yourself, then you can see your language. Say for example, if your mother tongue is Bengali, then you can directly go, you can read that it's written in Bengali language also, so you will feel for it, and you might have clicked that link, and you will register yourself. So this is a very good initiative indeed. I mean, you can write it in this initiative in your mains answer also, that how Election Commission is doing its job, right? Next is GSAT-17 to add teeth to ISRO satellite. GSAT-17, if it will go to, it has been sent to space, and it has augmented all the other 16 other satellites, 16 other communication satellites in fact, because G17 is also one of the communication satellite. And what these 17 communication satellite will do is like it will augment the overall capacity of Indian communication system. All right, and it has been launched from the French Guiana coast, and and it will provide continuity service to our operational satellites, and it has extended itself to C and S band. C band is for weather surveillance, and S band is for judging the electromagnetic spectrum. So that's why I have written these things also. Now, what are the applications of this satellite, guys? Applications are limited to broadcasting, telecommunication, and VSAT services. So these just remember these all things, right? Next is Kaushik Basu. Kaushik Basu, who was the former chief economic advisor of Indian finance ministry. He is being selected as the president of International Economic Association. See, he's been selected. The question will not come that who has been selected as president, but the question will come that what is International Economic Association. It is basically a non-governmental organization which is founded in 1950, and the main aim of this institution is to promote personal contacts and mutual understanding among the economics of the world from various countries, right? And which might further help in organizing any scientific meeting related to the world economics. So this was this is important for prelims perspective, right? Next is Uranus. Unusual rotation creates light switch effect. Now see, Uranus is a planet which is the second last planet of our solar system. All right, now there is an unusual rotation being observed by the NASA's Voyager 2 spacecraft, which has created a light switch effect. Just remember this keyword, light switch effect. The question might come that recently light switch effect was in the news. It is related to the what? So anything can happen. So you just have to remember these all things, right? Now let's see Uranus magnetosphere. Uranus, the planet Uranus is also having its magnetosphere, right? So the region is defined by the icy planet's magnetic field. See, what happens is the planet Uranus is having its magnetosphere, and the region of the magnetosphere is defined by icy planet magnetic field, right? And it gets flipped on and off like a switch. What happens is, see, these are the main picture what I got from the internet. So these flipped on and off like a switch every day. Can you see it? This is getting black and this is getting on, right? So this is getting on, this is getting off, right? So and this happens flipping, this flips while it rotates like other planets. When it rotates like other planets around the sun, in its own axis, what happens is the color gets flipped off. Now, what is the reason? Space scientists are putting is that there is reconnection of magnetic field. Now, see, reconnection of magnetic field is. The findings showed that magnetosphere is open in one orientation and allows solar wind to flow through it. See, what happens is during one period of time, magnetosphere is open, right? This is, say, for example, Uranus. The magnetosphere is open, then solar winds get inside it. Right, inside the atmosphere of Uranus. Now the later phase, what happens is it gets closed. Now when it gets closed, then solar solar rays from the sun will not get inserted from it. The solar wind can't insert the atmosphere, and it reflects the atmosphere. It reflects the solar wind, right? So in that case, it becomes shield, right? And it gets shield, then the solar whatever the solar wind coming from the sun is, it gets reflected. So there is a phenomena which is called a reconnection of magnetic field happens. Means earlier it was open, I said you, then in later phase this gets closed. So reconnection happens now. So when it get open, it get switched on. When it gets switched on, I mean to say that this happens, right? And when it gets switched off, then this happens. So these are the two fluctuating things happens, and the same thing happens in Earth case also. Earth aurora in North Pole and South Pole, which is the result of further reconnection of magnetic field. That's why I just put it in there, right? Next is, guys, Jet Li holds a meeting on Bitcoins. In this they'll not ask who has held the meeting of Bitcoin, but they'll ask about Bitcoin. What is it? It is basically a digital currency which enables instant payment to anyone, and it is the first decentralized central currency of the whole world, and it is not issued by any central authority. Just remember it, very important thing. And one of the most important thing about it is hack proof. No one can hack it. That's why people prefer to go with Bitcoin. All right. Next important news was, guys, US has supported India in many things, and that's why I have just written this. You can just go out and learn these all things yourself. Just All right, so this is all about it, guys. We'll meet tomorrow, and sorry for uploading late. Actually, I was busy a bit. So yeah, tomorrow we'll meet. Bye bye. Take care.